Hello, welcome to the Sideboard here at the Star City Games Team Open in Richmond, part of the SCG Tour, brought to you by Ultimate Guard and Carnox Gaming Chairs. I'm Nick Miller alongside Amulet Master Matt Dilks. I was talking about how many Amulet deck techs I've recorded lifetime on my time here on the SCG Tour, and it's at least 5, possibly 6. And we're here again doing it because they just keep printing new cards that keep changing how the Amulet deck works. We survive bannings, we dodge other bannings, and we're here talking about Amulet again. And we have to because of the latest card, Dryad of the Elysian Grove, here from Theros Beyond Death. And we have to talk about what this does to the deck. We're almost a completely different deck these days. There's a bunch of lands you've cut, there's new lands in the deck. We're this hybrid Valakut deck now. Talk about how you've changed the deck and how the deck is playing now in this new world.
Yeah, Wizards keeps printing cards that are more broken than the cards that they're talking about banning before it. So what Dryad does for the deck, it takes the spot of the flexible Ancient Stirrings Explore kind of package, and the interaction between Dryad and Valakut is really, really powerful, and it's enough to completely change how you build the deck. So what we've done is we've added Valakut to the deck, and we've cut white completely out of the deck. Our haste land now is Handweir Battlements. It only costs 1 red to haste, and in short now, where Titan would have been 16 damage if it attacked and double striked on that turn, now Titan is 24 damage. It's almost always lethal if you play Titan and with a Dryad in play. And Valakut kind of acts as our double strike land now, in place of Sunhome, Fortress of the Legion.
Right, so we've completely gone away from the Boros Garrison, the Sunhome, the Slayer Stronghold, and we have the new package of the Garrison, as you mentioned.
Battlements.
Or the Battlements.
Yeah.
We're not running the full meld here,
No.
unfortunately.
No meld.
But you're also just this Valakut deck, too. So you can play the Hasty Titan deck, or you can also play this grindy Field of the Dead Valakut deck as well.
Yep.
How often are you kind of doing that and playing like this almost control deck? Because back before, we used to see you guys just set up this, we're not killing you this turn, but we're setting up this endless loop of getting packs and protecting our Titans and doing that kind of thing.
Yeah, a lot of the decks in the format got really good at breaking up the Titan chain, and once Field of the Dead was printed, it kind of just invalidated that completely. Your Titan chain now also makes zombies a lot of the way, and like the fair decks that you're trying to grind with cannot keep up with that. It's just way too much value along the chain. Now for all the like creature decks and unfair decks, you get to just set up this super explosive Valakut engine, where like for the creature decks, you just destroy their entire board every turn, and the uninteractive decks, you just get to do something just way more over the top and broken than you did before, and just like it just always gets them dead. Even if you can't set up Dryad, the turn you attack with your Titan, the following turn is just always going to be lethal. It's going to be just 1,000,000 damage with Valakut.
Right, and the funny thing is you don't even have to get into combat damage when you have this hasty Titan Valakut stuff now. You just kill them before they even block.
Yeah, so like a previous problem in like the last few weeks, or the last format, I guess, before this new set came out, would have been like Karn Bridge. Karn Bridge was kind of like a problem that we kind of like chose to dodge a lot of times in the main deck, or like play one Rec stage. Valakut just goes completely over the top. They try to stop you from attacking, and they just get destroyed. Right.
So going over the deck, a lot of the stuff is still the same. We still have the Amulet, we still have the Scout, we still have Azusa, Primetime, and then the packs. But with the Elysian Grove here and the new lands, we're just doing all kinds of other things. And I've been talking with the other Amulet players, and Daryl mentioned Amulet now is arguably better than Urza was before they banned it. How do you feel about that?
It's probably a more powerful broken deck, but with the caveat that it is way easier to hate out this deck if you choose to. Blood Moon is still the single best card against the deck. There's a lot of cards you can play that's going to be good against this deck, but in terms of power level and how broken it is, I think it's more powerful than the Urza deck was in the last format.
And what about the other kind of Titan decks that are coming up right now in terms of pros and cons of this deck versus those decks?
I mean, I always have a biased opinion, but the simple matter of fact is this deck has always been faster at getting a Titan play, and that's always the number one thing that matters in Titan mirrors. There are some checks and balances, like Dryad and Valakut now means that if you play Titan second, like in some boards you can kill their Titan, which matters a lot. But the main thing that always matters is the first person to Titan is the person that wins in general. So Amulet was always the best deck that did that, and the kind of misconception that it's like an impossible deck to play or whatever is what keeping people from playing it, which obviously I disagree with. You just got to put in the time.
Yeah, and the Amulet squad of you, Polium, Daryl, Edgar, you all have put in the time, and we've seen those results. We'll move to the sideboard here now because you've adjusted the deck. Like you said, you got rid of white, and now you have a little more ways to interact with other Titans. You said you have a full 4 Aether Gust now as the main way to interact in these mirrors. Yeah,
a lot of people are picking up Primeval Titan decks, and Aether Gust is just the best counter spell in the mirror. It just and it's like a removal spell that you can board in against like the prowess deck, where like all you have to do is buy time, because once you Titan, you also take over the game there too.
Right. We have Force of Vigor again. You got to have ways to deal with Blood Moon, so you have that, and you have Rex Sage and 2 Beast Withins.
Yeah, Beast Within is more of like a catch-all answer. Like it's like good in like also the Titan mirrors, and it destroys Blood Moon, Ashiok, all those cards. Yeah, Blood Moon is still like almost the only card in the format now that you care about. So we have a lot of answers to it.
Right. You've got your extra Field of the Dead, Radiant Fountain here for the matchups where you need to gain life. 2 Engineered Explosives to go with the 1 in the main deck. You can tutor that up with the packs. And then 2 Dismember going with the Golgari Rot Farm in the main deck. You can now actually sometimes cast this card.
Yeah, between Rot Farm and Gemstone Mine and Dryad. Dryad has the Prismatic Omen in text on Dryad. It makes your mana so easy. You don't have to think about how you're floating your bounce lane mana or whatever. Like, you just always get to cast your spells and just tap mana, and they're going to go on the stack, especially Dismember for free.
All right, well, we're getting ready for another team open. Dilks, your squad of Will Polium and Edgar Maguies made top 4 a couple weeks ago. We're here to try it again. How are you feeling coming into the event?
I basically always feel good about team events. I think like we just like have really good chemistry, and we always do like well. Our bottom finishes are barely bottom finishes, so like yeah, I just always have good feelings about team opens. That's why I come to all of them.
All right, well, we'll be seeing you in action today. Amulet Titan, it's here again. It's upgraded. You guys better be on the lookout for it. For Matt Dilks, I'm Nick Miller. Stay tuned to Star City Games all weekend long for the action here in Richmond.